Welcome to AnimeDive X. Today we'll be going over the top 10 anime of 2020. This year turned the world upside down, ruined all of your vacation plans, even canceled and delayed multiple anime seasons. Many of us may have dealt with the passing away of our loved ones from a disease that we could barely understand. Sometimes the best anime helps us make sense of the world we live in. It reflects the emotions and struggles we face in the world. And more importantly, anime could help us see how to respond to those emotions and struggles that we don't understand. So as we're leaving 2020 behind, let's look back at some of these series that made the year more bearable. Series that consoled us, and in an iota of understanding in a world that no longer made sense. This is a list of anime that started in 2020, and we look forward to their future seasons. Without further ado, let's dive into the top 10 anime of 2020. Number 1. Jujutsu Kaisen. This anime was a breath of fresh, horrific, action-packed air. It's set in a world where curses born out of human negativity manifest themselves as monsters, which consume and kill innocents. In this world, sorcerers who have the ability to tap into the cursed energy fight these curses to keep us safe from the hidden enemy. The reasons which make this anime top our list is the beautiful animation, especially the fight sequences, fleshed out characters, and an immersive plot that goes deeper with each episode. On top of all of these, what makes this anime such a great treat for 2020 is the lighthearted humor of our protagonist. Contrasting the very dark and horrific setting of this world, it gives us a way to cope with the world 2020 brought to us. Number 2. Moriarty the Patriot. This series is a new take on Sherlock Holmes' arch-enemy, William James Moriarty, a cunning mathematics professor and crime consultant who solves the problems of those in need to fight against the strict class stratification of the 19th century British Empire. This series explores his role as a revolutionary anti-hero. The pacing and plot of the anime gives us a different perspective into a mystery that have us rooting for a man we used to think of as a great villain. This series belongs on this list as it echoes the frustrations many of us felt in 2020, as times became hard for people. This series also gives us very humane insight into the story and ideals behind crimes that live in the gray areas of justice. Making these videos takes a lot of work, so if you're enjoying it, please give us a like and a comment to let YouTube know that we're making the content that you love. Number 3. Decadence. It's a 12-episode-long action sci-fi adventure set in a post-apocalyptic future where humanity is reduced to living in part of a giant fortress. It's a fast-paced series with immersive world-building by showing, not telling. Each episode reveals new aspects of the world this anime takes place in, and time is not wasted in lengthy expositions. Our protagonist aims to fight Godal, life forms that threaten the existence of humanity. The characters are relatable, and the relationship between the two leads is fun to watch and adds lighthearted humor to an otherwise depressing situation. The art style also mirrors this lightheartedness and juxtaposes it against an apocalyptic situation. Number 4. Keep Your Hands Off Azakin. This 12-episode-long anime is a comedic adventure that is homage to the medium of animation itself. Our main characters love animation and set up a motion picture club, and they spent the entire season making anime. It looks into the anime industry, its inner workings and structures that make it run and produce so many of our beloved shows. The passion and artistic talent and the business acumen that work together to bring us beautiful works are looked into in this series in a lighthearted and comedic way. It is a must-watch for anyone mildly interested in learning more about the industry, or even someone who just wants to watch a hilarious anime. Number 5. Arte is a 12-episode-long historical drama set in the 16th century Florence. At the height of the Renaissance, our protagonist dreams of being an artist to progress civilization during this period, but is shunned for being a female artist. The series follows her journey as she finds a mentor and tackles new challenges in the pursuit of her dream to become a master artisan. The anime focuses on the journey of the character and is not about the historical setting or its culture. Hence, it is enjoyable to watch even for those who do not know much about the Renaissance history. As a character-driven anime, it highlights the struggle and the triumph of art as she sets out to follow her passion. However, if one watches it because they are interested in the historical setting, you might be a little disappointed, as the anime does not focus on the era, the culture, or the art of that time. So, fair warning, it is good to watch for the character, just not the historical setting. Number 6. Appare-Ranman. Racing, samurai, steam engines, 19th century America, the moon? This 13-episode anime is probably the most original, creative, and entertaining shows to come out in 2020. Our protagonists are Japanese who end up in Los Angeles at the turn of the 19th century. They must compete in a race to win prize money large enough to make their way back to Japan. This anime is a roller coaster ride and an absolute delight for the viewer to join Appare on this adventure of a lifetime. The cast is fleshed out and the episodes are intense with the feeling only a racing anime can bring. This original anime is a fun ride that you don't want to miss. Number 7. ID Invaded. This mystery psychological sci-fi anime explores the concept of exploring a criminal's mind over the course of 13 episodes. This approach is used to enter the mind of a criminal to find their identity and solve the case. It explores trauma, consciousness, and the idea of self through a sea of graphic imagery juxtaposed with a beautiful animation. It's an anime that puts one in a deep contemplation. Each mystery not only reveals the perpetrator, but also the characters involved in the investigation. With each passing episode, we grow more fond of the characters as their stories and development are laid bare. A great addition to the sci-fi genre. Number 8. The Great Pretender. This crime comedy themed anime follows the self-proclaimed Japan's greatest swindler, Makoto Adamura, also known as Adamame by his accomplice. This sets the scene for a well-written plot and calculating story. He leads a life of scamming and pickpocketing until one day when he tries to swindle a seemingly innocent tourist, he ends up getting swindled himself. This sets off a globe-trotting high-stakes competition between the two con artists that test our protagonist's every skill and introduces a variety of interesting characters. With only 23 episodes, be sure to add The Great Pretender to your watch list. Number 9. Japan Sinks 2020. This 10-episode long anime may have mixed reviews, but we wanted to share it on this list because of its dynamic story and the themes it addresses of family and coping with loss. Themes that many of us felt deeply during this year, and this anime tries to beautifully, but yet tragically, capture them. Adapted from the novel of the same name, Japan Sinks 2020, tells the anguished stories of family members and others caught in a catastrophic event that led to Japan sinking. The family members of the Muto family must do what they can to survive and reach safety despite many hardships that they must overcome along the way, all the while struggling to maintain their humanity in the face of a completely out-of-control catastrophe. Number 10. Darwins Game. What would happen if a death battle game comes to life? This 11-episode-long action anime follows our 17-year-old protagonist. Kaname Sudo unknowingly joins a real-life fighting-to-the-death game after receiving an email invitation. For starters, this series is a great lesson in not opening up suspicious emails. Our protagonist does not know of this rule and ends up getting drawn into a violent fight-to-the-death game against other players. This is a highly entertaining survival anime full of danger and putting the protagonist through extreme life or death situations. Facing up against more powerful gamers as an inexperienced player, he has to count on his instincts and form allies he is willing to trust. With only 11 episodes, this action and psychological anime is sure to thrill you. Be sure to add it to your watch list. But what do you think about this list? Please let us know what your favorite anime of 2020 is in the comment section down below. And we'll see you next time on AnimeDive X. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe.